Aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Case Stories, Cases Judged by Bao Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called Black Birthmark. In Jinhua Prefecture, there lived an honest and simple man named Pan Gui. He was married to Zheng Yuegui, and the couple shared a deep and loving bond. They had recently welcomed a baby boy, who was now 8 months old. That day happened to be the birthday of Zheng Yuegui's father, Zheng Tai, so the couple set off to celebrate the occasion. On their way, they reached the Qingxi ferry, where they joined many other travelers in boarding a boat to cross the river. Zheng Yuegui sat on the boat, holding their baby in her arms. The child, hungry and fussy, began to cry, so she loosened her garments to nurse him. By sheer misfortune, there was a rogue named Hongang on the boat, a notorious idler with wandering eyes. As he glanced around, his gaze landed upon Zheng Yuegui, and he happened to notice a small black birthmark beneath her left breast. At that moment, a sinister thought took root in his mind. When the boat reached the shore, Pan Gui took his wife's hand and prepared to head east toward her father's home. Suddenly, Hongang stepped forward, grabbed Zheng Yuegui's arm, and forcefully tried to pull her in the opposite direction. Pan Gui furiously shouted, "You scoundrel! What right do you have to seize my wife?" Hongang sneered and bellowed, "Nonsense! She is my wife. You're the one trying to steal her away." A heated brawl erupted between them. Hongang, being a street ruffian, was well versed in fighting and soon had Pan Gui sprawled on the ground, coughing up blood. The onlookers, unable to stand by and watch such injustice, restrained both men and took them to the prefect's office. At the Jinhua Prefecture Yamen, Prefect Qiu Shijue ascended the court and questioned them. "What is the reason for this fight?" Pan Gui, still seething with anger, exclaimed, "Your Excellency, my wife and I were on our way to my father-in-law's birthday celebration. We boarded a ferry at Qingxi, and this man happened to be on the same boat. But as soon as we reached the shore, he tried to steal my wife, claiming she was his. When I resisted, he beat me so severely that I coughed up blood. I beg your Excellency to see the truth in this matter." Hongang, feigning indignation, cried out, "Your Excellency, please hear my plea. I was merely returning home with my wife when this villain tried to snatch her away. I ask for your judgment and for justice to be served." Prefect Qiu furrowed his brows, then turned to Zheng Yuegui and asked, "Tell me, whose wife are you?" Lowering her head, Zheng Yuegui answered softly, "I am Pan Gui's wife." Hongang let out a cold laugh and sneered, "You shameless woman! You have never been faithful. I fear you have long conspired with this man to set a trap for me today. Your Excellency, I implore you to investigate this thoroughly." Prefect Qiu listened carefully, then pondered for a moment before turning to Hongang, "Since you claim this woman is your wife, do you have any proof?" Hongang immediately replied, "My wife has a black birthmark beneath her left breast. This is undeniable. Your Excellency may verify it." Upon hearing this, Prefect Qiu ordered a matron to examine the woman. Sure enough, she confirmed the presence of the birthmark. Without further questioning, Prefect Xiu ruled in Hung Ang's favor, sentencing Pan Gui to 20 harsh strokes of the cane, declaring that Zheng Yuegui belonged to Hung Ang. Pan Gui wailed in despair, but no one paid him any heed. Shortly after, they were all expelled from the courthouse. Just at that moment, Bao Gong was passing through Jinhua Prefecture on an official inspection tour. As he approached the yamen, he saw 3 people emerging from the courthouse. Pan Gui, his face streaked with tears, clinging desperately to Zheng Yuegui, who sobbed bitterly, while Hung Ang tugged at her roughly, determined to take her away. Bao Gong, sensing something amiss, stepped forward and asked, "Why are you causing such a commotion here?" Through his grief, Pan Gui recounted the entire ordeal in detail. Hearing this, Bao Gong's expression darkened. "This is highly suspicious. Stay here, all of you, no one is to leave." With that, he strode into the yamen to see Prefect Qiu Shijue. "Just now, outside your court, I witnessed Pan Gui and Hung Ang struggling over the woman. They told me that you have already ruled on this case, yet the husband and wife refused to part, weeping bitterly. Now, some criminals are indeed cunning, and their deceptions can be difficult to detect. However, the grief of the innocent is not so easily faked. I believe there may be unresolved doubts in this case." Prefect Qiu thought for a moment before responding slowly. "Since Bao Gong has suspicions about this case, I shall hand it over to you for re-examination." Bao Gong gave a slight nod and left. Prefect Qiu then issued an order. All involved parties were to be taken to Bao Gong's court for a retrial. After returning to his court, Bao Gong immediately convened a hearing. First, he summoned Zheng Yuegui forward and asked, "Tell me, who is your true husband?" With tears in her eyes, Zheng Yuegui choked out, "Pan Gui is my real husband." Bao Gong then asked, "Have you ever seen Hung Ang before?" Zheng Yuegui shook her head. "I had never seen him before. Yesterday, while crossing the river by ferry, my child was hungry, so I nursed him. That scoundrel caught sight of the birthmark under my breast and developed wicked intentions. When we reached the shore, my husband and I were heading east to my parents' home, but he tried to drag me westward. That's how they started fighting. Later, at the prefect's court, when the official asked for proof, Hung Ang used my birthmark as evidence. Without further investigation, the prefect believed him and ruled that I belonged to him. I beg you, my lord, please uphold justice and return me to my husband. If not, I would rather die than accept this injustice." Bao Gong nodded and continued, "Since you claim Pan Gui is your husband, tell me, how old are you both?" Zheng Yuegui answered, "I am 23, and my husband is 25. We have been married for 3 years, and our child is 8 months old." Bao Gong asked, "Do you have in-laws?" Zheng Yuegui replied, "My father-in-law has passed away. Only my mother-in-law remains, and she is 49 years old." Bao Gong then asked, "What are your parents' names? How old are they? Do you have siblings?" Zheng Yuegui responded, "My father's name is Zheng Tai. He just turned 50, and his birthday is on the 13th of August. My mother's name is Zhang, and she is 45. My parents have 3 children, myself included. I also have 2 older brothers." Bao Gong listened carefully, then gestured to the bailiffs. Take Zheng Yuegui aside and have her wait in the west corridor. Next, he summoned Pan Gui. Bao Gong asked, You claim this woman is your wife. What is her name? What is her surname? How old is she? Pan Gui answered. My wife's surname is Zheng, her given name is Yuegui, and she is 23 years old. Bao Gong continued his questioning, and Pan Gui's responses were identical to those of Yuegui. Satisfied, Bao Gong nodded and ordered the bailiffs. Take Pan Gui outside and have him wait in the east corridor. Finally, Bao Gong summoned Hong Ang into the court and sternly demanded. You claim that this woman is your wife, yet she insists she is Pan Gui's wife. Do you have any proof? Hong Ang replied confidently. My wife has a black birthmark under her breast. That is the best proof. Bao Gong pondered for a moment before saying. The woman's birthmark is under her breast, but since she nurses her child in public, others may have seen it. How can that serve as proof? If she is truly your wife, then tell me, what is her name? How old is she? Hong Ang was instantly stunned. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. After a long pause, he stammered. Her name is Chiogui, she is, 22 years old. Her father's surname is Zheng, he is 50 years old. Bao Gong's expression darkened as he shouted. Nonsense. If she is truly your wife, then tell me, how long have you been married? How old is your child? Hong Ang lowered his head, hesitated for a long time, then muttered. We've been married for a year, the child is half a year old. Before he could finish speaking, a loud bang echoed through the hall as Bao Gong slammed his gavel down. He roared. Audacious scoundrel! You dare to steal another man's wife and now spout nothing but lies? Then, with a commanding voice, he ordered. Give Hong Ang 40 strokes with the heavy rod and exile him to the border as a conscripted laborer. The bailiffs immediately seized Hong Ang and dragged him away to carry out the punishment. Bao Gong personally finalized the case records and ensured that Pan Gui and Zheng Yuegui were reunited, finally restoring justice to the wronged couple. Alright. Today's case story, Black Birthmark, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.